Lion.
Lion, yeah. I normally I don't do grids, you know, because I don't want you guys to have to set up a grid. But I was just amazed at how long and short she is. So I thought, you know what? Let me just put some squares on to prove how short and long she is. Because when I practiced her earlier, I made her legs too long in the blue. My blue was my first attempt. It was looking okay. And then when I started comparing, I go, wow, her legs are actually really short. So we're going to have some fun with that. So we're not actually going to draw the grid, but, you know, if you wanted to double check how things are going, you'd be welcome to. I'm going to zoom out a little bit so we can see both at the same time. Pretty much both at the same time. All right. So I'm going to start with a really, really long, almost the size of a hot dog, honestly. Really, really long body shape. Something like that. And when you divide this body up into thirds, you get a pretty good size for her back quadrant here of her body. And that's where that flatter part of her back is. So I'm going to flatten that out right away just so I remember. And the rest of it will dip. And then we're just going to lightly go ahead and sketch where her neck is going to flow right out from her back and forward. And then also her tail, which is going to flow right out the back and then curl up into a nice C shape. Oh, I'm going to let Michaela in. Then we'll go ahead and start plotting out that shoulder blade that comes forward. Hi, Michaela. Sorry I went to the wrong meeting.
All right.
So remember, underneath all of this lovely, graceful, soft flesh, we've got bones in here.
Oh.
So I've got that first big kind of triangle chunk. That's going to go right, maybe a little bit past her body. Then we go backwards. And not too far from her chest is where her elbow is. So I'm going to stick in a circle there for her elbow. Then we'll go forward some. I'm just using that as a placeholder so that I can put in her head, because we've got this nice little bit of neck that comes out before we'll hit the circle. We usually cut off our circle, so the circle's going to go outside her head. So I can use that on my drawing also, just have a little bit of neck. Put on that circle. And then past that circle is going to be that front paw. But her nose, you can see her nose, so if you go straight down, kind of hits that bone right there. Oops, if she had a nose. I'm going to sketch on the nose first. Nose box. And then for the back leg, remember, it goes opposite. So this whole flat part up here is going to be our stylized kind of hip bone, pelvic bone, and then we'll have it go forward, and then back some more, and then forward for the toes. And remember, this one is pretty much in the same line with her elbow. I guess her knee. I think we called it a knee and the elbow.
I bet the legs are too long.
I bet they are. In fact, let's go ahead and check. Because if you take her body size and double it, and you reach the end of her legs, it's too long. So we'll take the body size, double it. Oh, yeah, mine are too long. So this space, if we cut it into about 3/4, take off about 1/4, that's where the legs will be. So short, it just doesn't seem possible.
No, it sure doesn't.
Don't worry about getting the bones in just right. It's more just kind of understanding the mechanics, not necessarily using it for accuracy, because angles are hard to replicate exactly. So don't worry about that too much. Then we'll go ahead and start with this back leg. It's a little easier, I find, than the front leg. So first we have our toes, the toe box down here. I'm just going to put a little rectangle.
Hold on. Cardboard.
Then we've got this nice smooth line all the way up in there, but there's some very subtle changes. We can see the curve pretty well here. And there's a tiny little change in the opposite direction, and then straight it goes.
Hello?
And if you can get it to encompass the bone structure, cool.
Are you my surgeon?
But if not,
oh man, you sure did.
Just need to be adjusted.
Oh wow. Here's the only question, and I'm sorry to take your time, but I thought I heard you say that this would be a dry dressing that had to come off in 2 days, and underneath it would be another.
Go ahead and mute Kristen for the moment, since she's on the phone. And we're going to go ahead and go up from the back foot here. The back of the foot, I should say. Curve it a little one way, and then curve it a little the other way. Very, very subtle. Almost nothing. In fact, I overdid it a little bit. I'm going to try again. Smooth and flowing. Oh, so feminine.
We're good then. That is all I needed to know, but I thank you for.
Okay, she's still going. And then we'll have the body coming down just slightly, no big deal, and then a little bit back up right before it hits the elbow.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please, thank
Nope. Okay. And then we'll put in her other back leg, which is another nice shape. So on this grid, her toes go right in front of this first line here. If you want to use that to help you place it, go for it. So we've got our little toe box here. Then we're going to go backward and round off that little angle turn.
Okay, relax about that one.
you. Yeah, boy, that was helpful. I'm unmuted.
And then we're going to bring in that front line. I like to put the legs that are farther away a little higher on the paper, just helps with the depth perception. But hers are pretty close together, so it doesn't matter if you put them on the same line. Then for the front leg, we've got a nice easy line that just goes right around the elbow here and into the body. And then on the top here, we're going to follow that shoulder blade and have a little indent, nothing major, but just a little bit of a direction change to show that bone is under there. The leg starts out pretty chunky when it's close to the body and then gets a little narrower as we go down to the paw. And we've got her other leg in back. And that one, the toes are behind the front of our original body right here. If you want to use that as a guide, that's helpful. Trying to make the toes about the same height as the other foot, the back foot. And we've got two angle changes here, one and then two. Oh, I'm running into my front leg though. That's not right.
It's tricky.
It's tricky, man. Maybe my elbow's too low, for one thing. That's the other hard part. Usually multiple causes, so fixing one thing doesn't necessarily fix all of it. There we go, that's better. Move my foot back a bit. And it's also going to be connected with this bump on her back, which is her other shoulder blade coming up as she puts the weight on that paw. So wherever your leg is, you're going to go up a little bit. Make that other bump. And then go into the neck. Real important overlap is that the back line continues a little bit, and then the bump is behind. And we'll come in and do her head here. Our head's going to look a little bit big because, again, we're going to chop off about a third of it in a minute here. But for our original circle, we're going to cut it in half. And that's going to be the eye line. And we'll start with her whole eye socket, which has a teeny little check mark type line structure with a short little line first and then a longer line. And we're pretty near the end of that circle. And she has her eye closed. It looks like she's actually butting her head against another lion and a green. But we just don't have another lion here. And we'll use that line up here for the interior ear line. Pretty rounded ears. And then we'll go ahead and flatten off the sphere.
Hello?
Hello. What happened?
My internet just cut out completely for some reason.
So did my sound, but I'm back.
Yeah.
And for the nose, we've got pretty sharp point where her actual nose is. And then the rest of her chin pretty rounded. And also very close to her neck, only a very tiny gap in between there, which isn't the same on mine, but something that can be adjusted. Now it is. And we'll just wrap that nose around. Remember, you're just drawing half of a nose since she's in profile view. And then for the mouth, the line is pretty straight, that frowny part in front, before it turns into her cheek. I think my head's too big. There's very little space between her eye socket and the top of her head there. And I'm going to adjust mine down. And then the tail. We already have our top line. Oops, that goes right into the body. So I just have to do it again, making it thinner, closer together at the tip of the tail, and then getting just steadily wider as it gets to the body. You can see I'm doing lots and lots of short strokes rather than one long stroke, because I can adjust short strokes a lot easier than trying to get it perfect in one big sweep. And then I can just come back and erase all the little pencil flares that I don't want. And then we've got the longer hair, that like tassel-y part of the tail. Thinking of an upside down raindrop, kind of rounded on the one end and then sharper on the other end. I can erase out all the plot lines, see if we missed anything. Oh, I did miss something. Right in front of the bottom of her ear, we need a jawline. Separate out her toes if you haven't already. Got a few back here that are still just blocks. And I think we just about got it. So what's nice is that if you have your heads from last week, you can actually just draw them again on this body. Can you imagine if her head wasn't huge? You can put on that one. You can put on the 3/4. You can put on the front view. I mean, she'd just be turning her head a little bit, right? Like ignore the neck.
Yeah.
So you can put any head you want on this body, which is pretty cool. If you want an added challenge, try drawing it in reverse so that she's walking that way instead of that way. Or if you're like, I just need to try to get this long and short leg combo together, you can go ahead and draw the exact same and we'll just change the head. This is your free drawing time. It's
amazing that she looks okay, even though when the grid's on her, it just looks weird.
Yeah.
But that's how she looks fine, the one you drew, which matched with the grid.
Yeah.
Even mine.
This front one's a little short, but I might move that out in my next attempt.
Okay, let's draw another one.
So I will probably just leave this one up for your reference. I'll try to get rid of my plot lines so that you can determine your own.
I've done 2 of them.
Oh, let's see. Let me spotlight it for everybody so they can see.
Overachiever.
Ooh!
So, the top one is the first attempt with Betsy's aid, and then the second one is my attempt to do it without Betsy's aid, just Betsy's advice, and I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, they both look like lions.
They do, and they're long, thin, crazy, but they look like lions.
Yeah.
And they have their ears back, like they're concentrating.
So now I'm going to take up the challenge of trying some different heads on there, but I may do it for flat on my back.
Oh, we hope you get better soon. My goodness.
Well, I just wanted to see you all and say hi. And I probably will not try to come to the second class because I've been sitting on my little hip for a while.
Yeah, yep, I understand.
I like your hair. I like your long hair. I like it. I like it. I do. I like this down here. It looks good.
Later, guys. So I thank you all. It's great to see you. I'm going to take off. I'm going to sit here and see what other people do.
Wait, Kristen, look behind you. Look behind you.
Behind her?
Look, it's a lion walking. It's a lion.
Oh, your white figure?
Oh my gosh, look at that.
There you go.
Pose.
A model for you.
There you go. Got it.
That's what I'm going to do. Look how long his legs are.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Well, yeah. Well, he's not in Simba. He's more real.
Yeah, it could be an animation thing.
Yeah.
Well, let's see Frank's.
Let me
Frank, show us what you got.
My body ended up a little too short, but other than that, I think I got just a proportion.
Wow.
Yeah, she looks nice. So she's so soft looking.
Wow.
She looks real, Frank. Come on.
Oh, the real lion proportions right there. Yeah.
Look at that
Yeah.
tail. That's a good tail.
I like the bumping head with the closed eyes. What do you got, Michaela?
Digitalize me.
Oh, I didn't do it.
Anything? Anything on your own?
What did you do?
I did stuff
What
on my
did
own
you
because I felt so far back that
That's fine. We just want to see what you're doing.
Let me see what you're doing.
Alright, I'm trying to get back into this. Hold on, I'll share with you. I'm trying to get back into the host disabled participant screen sharing.
Did I? I don't think I did. Somebody else
Well,
has
it's not letting me.
What's that pencil? What
Try it now.
are you doing something with the pencil for the
There
tail?
it is.
No, that was me. I've got the pencil.
Yeah, now you can get up, Mikey. Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
I'm trying to get back into the groove of this design.
Yeah, I remember her.
Fun.
I like that one especially. Yes, I like this character.
Scales. Look at the heart scales on its tail.
Yeah.
Are they
Yeah.
great?
In that heart theme.
And look at the chest. It's a heart
Yeah,
scale,
it's a
too.
heart too.
Yeah, the ears are heart themed, like the scales are heart themed. I'm also thinking maybe about putting a heart thing in the wings too, possibly.
I approve. That would be a great idea.
Yeah, and then it's been a while since I've drawn her, so I'm just trying to get back into the groove, but they don't feel very right.
It's all right.
Hey,
Takes a while
you're
to
just getting back into groove.
Well, they feel
As lions go, though, Mikey, terrible.
Yeah, yeah, 0 out of 10.
It's enough.
Okay, I'll stop sharing now.
Cool. Isn't this cool? Isn't the Zoom stuff cool?
Yeah.
Ah.
That's all we've got. There's mine. I drew it. They'll going the other way. But,
Oh!
Hey,
oops, a little bit.
Betsy, how come the eyes are white? Shouldn't there be some black in there?
How come the eyes are white? I haven't colored them in yet.
So what
Come
part
on,
you color in?
Stephanie. No, I'm kidding.
No, what part you color that part in?
There you go. How about that?
I like that.
But yeah, I think my body got a little bit short too. I think I just automatically started squishing it down. But I worked hard on getting that long front leg, so that one got longer. See?
I like that, but I think your back legs are almost the same height as your front legs. So
Yeah.
they're a little back. So yeah, it's not actually confusing.